Ooh, I heard a crack. It crushed it quite a bit. I didn't even need to put it full throttle. Waste of money. Hey, welcome back to the channel. We have got something that's going to be fun today. We're going to talk about expanding foam and my experiences with two different brands. You guys come on. So Tanya and I are building this pole barn that we see right here. We just put in the electric over here for our future home and for this pole barn. And we are building a sawmill cover for the top of our sawmill. So we have been using the foam, and the first foam we used was Fast 2K. And we put this on, the first foam we used was the electric system where we put the posts in the ground. And we used the Fast 2K and it worked outstanding, super stable. And our pole barn here, which we're not complete, obviously, but we use Fast 2K on it, and it is rock solid, just absolutely rock solid. Let me show you the other product. So I want to tell you the backstory. We first put down the electric post for our electric system, and we had really good luck out of it. And I decided the next thing we did was the sawmill post, or the post for the sawmill building. And we went back to Lowe's, and they were out of stock of the Fast 2K. And there was another brand called SIKA. And we bought it thinking that it's just same, you know, just a different brand, Coke or Pepsi. But this is what we had happen. This is the SIKA product. I'm talking, this is finger movement, 2 fingers. We followed the directions with SIKA pretty much to the letter. We took and put the 2 parts of the chemical together in the bag, you pop it and it goes together, and you shake it and mix it for 30 seconds. And then you tear the end of the bag off and you pour it in. We did that where we let one go in. We didn't know what we were doing, so we didn't know how much we would need. So we let one bag go all the way and expand, and then come back and look and say, well, I believe we need one more bag. So there's 2 bags in here. This is the big difference. That's unbelievable. So when we first put the foam in, it expanded really fast, and it expanded really tight. We thought, this is great. It's just like Fast 2K. And then after it cools off, it seems to constrict back. And that's where the problem comes in. It seems to adhere to the wood just fine, but it shrinks. Let me show you the other post. So this is a second post, and I want to qualify this by saying this area has not been disturbed, and this is clay. This is a clay, very heavy clay soil, which should be like the best for this type of product. So we've showed you the first post, second post. There's no really excuse for this. And again, I would give this post a little leniency had we, you know, not already experienced the bad at the other, but it's the same way on every post. It shrinks considerably. So we already started working on this and put a big beam across the top of it, of this post. This is a 6x6, and we really didn't pay any attention to it till where we started setting the post on it. And this post, and I'm being very, I don't want to go too crazy with this because there's a 300-pound beam over my head, but it's literally moving back and forth in the hole a good ½ inch. So the foam has shrank at least a ½ inch. So these are the experiences we had with the product. Fast 2K, we had basically, it performed flawlessly. SIKA, it failed in each instance we used it. But to be fair, today we're going to test it in 2 applications, each product in 2 applications, and we're going to do it side by side just to make sure there was not some fluke like a temperature variation, or maybe it was too wet one day or not. So this is the fairest we can be. Again, I just want to point this out. We are not paid to do this. I just thought it would be something fun to do, and also to kind of warn people off. Maybe I did it wrong. So you guys stay with us to the end of the video to see if the SIKA holds up and see if the Fast 2K does as good as it did the first time. Neither one of these products have been on the market a really long time, and they're not widely accepted. And partially I think that is due to some of the negative exposure they've got on social media. I think we're going to sort that out today. So we're going to do two tests. We're going to do a bucket test, and then we're also going to take the tractor with a postal digger and dig holes in two separate locations that are really close together, so the soil type is similar. And we're going to put these two posts in the ground and then come back a couple of days later and see if this big tractor behind me can pull those posts out. The loader will lift about 3,000 pounds breakout force. I think I'm a little bit biased because of my prior results, but I think one post is going to stay and one post is not. So you guys stay to the end and see if I'm right. So let's show you what's inside the product bag. We got, with the SIKA brand, it's just got a little bag. Instructions are on the front, and that's all that's here. All right, let's see what's on the Fast 2K bag, what's in here. Different package, it's got a different kind of seal here, and it also comes with plastic gloves, which if you've ever got foam on your hands, you'll appreciate that. So because Fast 2K provided us with a pair of gloves, I'm going to wear it for both. Thank you, Fast 2K. So I've read the directions thoroughly, and basically the simple version of it is you're going to roll one end of this foam up, and it's going to break a seal in the middle by pressure, and then you're going to mix both ends together using the shoe shine method, going back and forth for 15 seconds. I will tell you a secret up front that I've already learned is this bag does not have a perforation for you to tear, so you better have a pair of scissors with you or a knife or some way to cut this, otherwise it's going to make a big mess. All right, I got my knife ready. I've got my post in the bucket. So what I'm going to do now is follow the directions, and I'm going to roll this end up. This is a nice cool day, so this is probably one of the best times to do this. There it went. We'll do the shoe shine method, making sure that I knock my knife off. The product seems to be getting a little bit warm. All right, so that's 15 seconds for sure. Get that out of the way. And all I'm going to do is pour this in the bag. Or you need to get over here. So this is Fast 2K, and the bags are a little bit different. Same principle, it's got a seal in the middle, but how you do this is you just pop it. And then you're going to do the shoe shine method, making sure that all of the chemical from this side meets the chemical in that side, and then go back and forth over something like a shoe shine. It tells you up front there's a little bit difference in the chemical makeup, because this one takes 30 seconds to mix where that one took 15. So we know already that there's something different about these two products. So I'm going to go closer to the tractor. I got my post here ready to go in. So I'm making sure that all the chemical from one side goes over and mixes with the other. Again, this is going to be a 30-second job. If you're out somewhere you don't have it, probably can do this as well. Just making sure that your chemicals mix good. I can feel this chemical is starting to get a little bit warm as well. So you have about 3 to 5 minutes of work time to get your post put in. Make sure that it's level, and then you hold it into place. For this demonstration, we're just holding the post up by our hand. It's not, it's not critical. All right, so this is the difference. A big difference here is Fast 2K has the preparation already. So I'm going to take my post, set it in, and go ahead and. Now in the real world, you would coat this all around the post, but in here we're just going to pour it in the bucket and see what happens. And I will warn you from using this on a prior time. Do not get it on your shoes. It will not come off ever. Definitely a different color. It's a different feel when you pour it as well. So this expands at a much slower rate. It says 3 to 5 minutes. And also there is another thing to think about too in both products. If it's really hot outside, you've got to make sure that your product stays cooler until you are ready to use it. You don't want to reach down and grab a bag of either product when the bag is 95 degrees. So each one of these bags will replace 50 pounds of concrete. You can see that the Fast 2K foam is considerably more dense. The little pores or the little bubbles inside are considerably smaller than the SIKA. SIKA brand's kind of looks like the spray foam you spray in a wall. Gizmo, get.
He just wants to supervise.
He's supervising. I don't want him to bite none of that. So the products in theory have a big advantage over concrete in the fact that you can start working off of whatever you put in the ground 30 minutes later. And approximately 24 hours later, it is 100% cured. But within 30 minutes, it's over 90% cured, which is more than enough strength to work with according to each manufacturer. So each one of these bags of product are supposed to be the equivalent of 50 pounds of concrete. There already is an obvious difference between the two products. The SIKA expanded really fast, and it has little pores or little the bubbles, or you can see the bubbles in it. It doesn't look as dense. The Fast 2K was a much slower rising product, not really quick in construction terms, but still it rose much slower, and the foam looks much denser. So these buckets are made for product to not stick to them. So hopefully both of these will come out of the buckets easily. We'll take them and put them out on the blacktop and run a tractor over the top of them and see how the density difference is of the two products. But we'll do that in 48 hours. All right, we ended up digging 3 holes. I dug this hole first and it turned out really smooth and neat. I dug this hole and it hung on me, and when I pulled the tractor up, it ripped a big portion of the soil out, so I didn't think that'd be a fair test. So I went back over here and dug another hole. These 2 holes are basically perfectly similar. I think this is going to be a fair test. I scraped away the dirt before I pulled the post hole digger out so that excess dirt wouldn't fall back in the hole. I think that is another way we can be fair. All right, we have got both posts in the ground. They're level. It's the same depth hole. I think we're ready to start. Knife ready. Now it also says to try to coat the post, so we're going to do that. So we're going to do 2 bags per hole. All right, I realize that post is not, well, it's pretty square. It's pretty level, but it's not about being level, it's about being strong. All right, so we'll go ahead and start mixing this back and forth. I'm gonna use this grapple to make sure both sides of the packet chemicals are mixed. This is Fast 2K. So with the Fast 2K, it says before you pour your next bag in that you need to wait at least 5 minutes, because before it hardens, it actually is kind of like a marshmallow. And if you pour the other one into another bag in too quickly, it will literally smush one chemical reaction will smush the other one. So you let the first one cure 3 to 5 minutes, then you put the next one in and then let it cure for 30 minutes, and then you can go to work. All right, I'm always going to have a naysayer. In every video I ever do, there's at least one naysayer. I know someone's going to say, well, this post is deeper in the ground than this post. They're exactly the same depth in the ground. This ground is just higher over here than it is over here. But each post is the same depth in the ground within just minuscule. So I'm just trying to be fair. I want this test to be as fair as we can be. Hey, to be fair, we poured 3 bags of product in each hole. I find that the SIKA is not very consistent. And what I mean by that, we poured a bag in, it come up around the post reasonably consistent. And then we poured this one. And there was approximately 15, maybe 20 minutes in between the pours. And we poured another bag into this, of SIKA in this hole. And instead of coming up consistently around the post, it kind of just shot off in one direction on one side. So then again, 20 minutes, we come over here, poured into the Fast 2K hole, and in both pours were very consistent, wrapping the post very good. And then the third one, you can see here, it got to the top and mushroomed out. The Fast 2K, again, is very consistent on all 3 bags as far as wrapping the post and pushing out. I want to show you something else real quick. I want to talk a little bit about how these products work. As each product cures, it causes pressure. It expands out, and it actually expands out into the pores of the earth. And you can see ever so slightly that each one of these buckets have a slight bow in them where the pressure is pushed out. And obviously the buckets, they're non-stick buckets, so they're not supposed to stick. This is not what it's purpose for, but I can see the buckets actually pressing out. Both posts are in the ground, they're curing. Both posts are in the bucket, they're curing. We'll be back in 48 hours. And for you guys, it's gonna be just this. Hey, welcome back. We are at the second part of our test. We've got the 2 buckets here, and then we've got the post. So what we're gonna do today, let me just outline what we're gonna do. We're going to check the density of this foam, and then we're also gonna take the tractor and see how hard it is to pull each post out. The tractor behind us has like 3,000 pounds of breakout force at the pins. So we're gonna put the chain really close to the pins and see how hard it is to yank the post out of the ground. But first, we're gonna get to the buckets. So these buckets should come off because they're made for product or things to not stick to them, and that came right off. You can see this foam it has very few voids, but one thing I noticed, it's very hard. I mean, it's very hard. So what happens is this pushes out into the ground like little fingers into every pore of the ground. That's what makes it so strong. And that's what both products claim. This is very hard. So let's move to the next one. So this one, one thing I noticed, that this is I didn't even point this out. This didn't shrink. I had to literally like pull it out of the bucket. This particular one is loose in the bucket. So right here you can see that there's a space in the bucket. The Fast 2K, there was no space. It was firmly in the ground. So this one I don't have to do anything but just pull it out. And right off of the bat, I can tell you that it is not as dense. So this is Fast 2K over here, and this is SIKA over here. The first thing I noticed pulling them out of the bucket is that the Fast 2K did not shrink, and the SIKA brand shrunk down. The Fast 2K, I'm going to push as hard as I can with my thumb. My thumb turned red, and it didn't even make a dent. And the SIKA is, you can see I make a dent. I can also poke my finger through it. Ooh, I can also knuckle it and break it. All right, so just to be fair, that's okay. Don't do that. That hurts. So Fast 2K is pretty dense. It's a very dense foam, and you can see that both of them are roughly the same liquid. They're volume of liquid, and one almost doubles the expansion. And too much expansion is not good apparently, because this, like I said, this shrunk. I wonder if I can pull the 2x4 out. No, can't do that. But all right, so that was fun. Let's do the next thing. So my next test is my stress relieving test. We're going to take each one of these dudes, and I'm going to just hammer down on the ground and see if what it breaks off, and then we'll do the other one. So we've started with Fast 2K on everything. So I feel better. Stress relief right there. Ooh, I heard a crack. But that still, it held up. I mean, who's going to be doing that? That's not really a realistic test, but I just wanted to. So all we're going to do now is, just for fun, there's nothing scientific about this. We're going to run over it just to see how dense it is. This tractor weighs about 7,000 pounds the way it sets. So it's pretty heavy. Can't catch it. We'll run up the post. This is the engine, which is pretty heavy. The back end's got loaded tires. There's fluid in these tires, which makes it even heavier. So that's the heavy part right there. That's impressive. That's pretty much still intact. 7,000 pounds worth of tractor driving over it. You can see the tractor imprints. Now push. Yeah, same thing. So this is the SIKA brand. Let's see what it does. It crushed it quite a bit. So that was roughly the same test, other than we stayed on the Fast 2K a lot longer. It's egg-shaped now, so there's definitely a difference. One held its form. This won't stand up anymore. Hang on. So the Fast 2K on your right, it held its form. I mean, you can see the marks of the tractor tire in the foam, but I stayed on it quite a bit longer. We took pictures, so it was the tractor's weight sat on it a long time. We did not take pictures of the SIKA because it was pretty obvious up front that it crushed it. You can see here how it crushed. So Fast 2K is just a superior product in everything. I really kind of expected that after my own personal experiences. Shame on you, SIKA. All right, so that's enough playing. We want to get to the main event, and we want to yank these posts off the ground. That's the real test. This is about post. Let's see here. This is the Fast 2K. I'm putting my foot up. There's no way I can cheat on this. That's solid. Okay, do this test. Now, I've not touched these since we've done this, and that moved right off the bat considerably. So it shrank in the hole as well, so that's not good. Yeah, there's actually a slackness in that, and I don't know if we're gonna get this post out. All right, so enough talk, let's test. Again, we're gonna try to be very fair with this. This tractor will pick up around 3,000 pounds from the ground height up, and then it'll pick up like 2,300 pounds all the way to full height. So over a ton in the air, we're gonna have a ton's worth of pressure pulling up. Well, all right, what I've done is I've wrapped the chain around the post 2 consecutive times and then made a harness where we're gonna lift with both arms of the tractor, getting the full force of the tractor. This is about as fair as I know to be. So let's see how hard it is. I'm curious to see if it's gonna pull the back wheels up off the tractor, off the ground. That's probably, if it's as firm as I think it is, I think that's what's gonna happen. Well, I was just trying to pull it straight up out of the ground. So this may have not been the best place. This is our future front yard. This may have not been the best place to put this post for the test. It didn't even try to come out. This could be a new bird feeder post. All right, so we're gonna pull this chain off. I noticed that when I trying to take the chain off, it buried the chain into the wood. It literally gouged the wood and tore pieces of the wood off. That's how much pressure that was on that chain. All right, let's try the next one. All right, just to be fair, I want everybody to know. So I pulled up on this. I give the tractor full force up at idle, and I did that one time. Then I gave it full throttle, and then I pulled back on the joystick 3 times. So that's 4 pulls straight up, full force. And the only thing it did, if I kept doing it, it's just gonna rip the post off. It wasn't gonna, the chain was gonna cut the post in half. So we're gonna go over here, and hopefully that one will come up. I mean, I don't want to say nothing bad about the product, but I don't want 2 bird feeders right beside each other. So this is the excess stuff here. It's not below ground. I could break this off with just by kicking it. I'm not going to. I want to be fair as I can. But so 2 full wraps around. Here we go. I didn't even need to put it full throttle. I don't think we need to say anything else. Wow, that was self-explanatory. It literally was ripping the post in half on this side, and it pulled this completely out of the ground with, I didn't even have the outlet up. The tractor never made a sound change, as far as it just wasn't hard. Yeah, I'm really disappointed in this product. SIKA is no match for Fast 2K. Listen, I really appreciate you watching our channel and seeing these kind of tests. The reason I made this test, just full disclosure, is that I tried the Fast 2K on my electric post and it worked really great. And I didn't realize there was a difference in the brands. I just kind of assumed they work both the same. And I put my sawmill shed up with a SIKA brand, and I noticed shortly after that the posts have a huge amount of sway in them, and that was very disappointing. But to be fair, I wanted to come up here and do a side-by-side comparison, both done at the same temperatures and the same soil conditions, just to make a point. And what I suspected is absolutely true. Fast 2K is a far superior product. The dirt's heavy on the end of it. Waste of money.